As the hear you far away, but no one's on the other end, and it's too far too late. If you get the message, I never left this life. If you call, I'll ask for another day, 'cause I don't wanna let go. It's a bitter reflection spinning out of time. Distantly bound, the world's coming down, 'cause I don't wanna let go. One foot through the door, I wanna see you face to face. Nothing's ever indirect, and it's never too late. If you get the message, I never left this life. If you call, I'll ask for another day, 'cause I don't wanna let go. It's a bitter reflection spinning out of time. I won't come around right now, 'cause I don't wanna let you down.
Test, test, test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hope you guys are doing well. Let me get the music going again. I was quickly reminded last stream the interview was in that I can't do streaming very well without music in my ears, believe it or not. So let me get these levels right. Hashtag pro streamer. Hope you guys are doing well. What's up, guys? What's up, Slip on Twitter? Matt the Vulture on YouTube. I've got triple streaming going up, so pick your poison. We've got Twitch, YouTube, and X. But we got a good show today. Well, all the past streams over the past few years, we've been having some very boring markets. Today is not going to be a boring one. What's up, Fletch? We got a lot of stuff to cover, so glad you're here. And let me do the default intro. If you guys don't know, this is the weekly whale watch. We do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We hang out on stream for about an hour, hour and a half, and then we head over to the Discord and hang out with the OGs. So definitely go check us out here. We have a roundtable discussion where we do an open mic, and usually we have like 20, 30 people hop on, share charts, share ideas. Sometimes we talk Toyotas deep into the night. And if you want any one-on-one coaching with any of the OGs or myself, that's the time to do it, to ask pointed questions, because I can only cover so much in the chat, and I've got 21 gigabytes worth of stuff I got to cover today in about an hour. But if you're interested why my charts aren't in black and white and there's colors and whales and all this other stuff, check us out at rainbowtrends.com. I now have both domains, Rainbow Trends and rainbow-trends.com. Both work. And you can find out all this stuff here. If you want to try out some of our tools, it's $10 a month for the first month, and then cancel anytime if you want. But much love to all the dudes who've been helping us out and signing up lately. They've been pointing out some good stuff, and they've been having a good time. If you have any questions or want to hit up any of the OGs, some people that are definitely not as biased as I am, because I will always be biased. I wrote the damn thing for my own personal trading. Definitely hit those dudes up, or hit up anybody in the Discord. They're awesome, especially the OG Cyan guys. Those are guys to focus on. And if you're new as well, definitely check out the Discords, not the Discord, the Wikipedia we have as well. It's got all the tool tutorials on there, and I'm going to start building those up shortly. Start building those back again. I got all the taxes done this year. I got all that submitted. I've been going through a bunch of website updates and stuff with the second domain, and trying to get all my pixels and stuff fixed. Luckily, we're getting the pixels fixed right now with some web devs. So moving forward on that. But before we get going, the weekly whale watch stream. The stream is intended for educational purposes only. This is technically an art stream, not a trading crypto stock chart stream. None of that. It's actually an art stream. But even if you were to mistake it for a financial advice, it's not. So definitely do your own research. This is not financial advice. Moving on. So I typically do some shout outs in the beginning, some stuff that like is either security risk or stuff that really made me excited and happy this week. If you don't know, a lot of this is kind of ad libs as far as the orders go, but there's been a lot of Darius Dale stuff that's been hitting hard this week. And we actually got to see Forward Guidance do an interview with Darius. I will post the link in the chat, and if you're on Twitter, definitely go check it out on your own, because the Twitter chat doesn't work when we're streaming. But check that stuff out. It's really good. Darius called the top like a month ago, had all his guys risk off. If you notice, when Darius starts firing off, we also tend to have some other dudes in the Discord fire off. But definitely go check this stream out. It's a really good one, and he lays out a lot of the stuff that he's looking forward in the next few months of this year, how this is going to play out. But it's been really, really good. But moving on, definitely. And also check out Forward Guidance. Those dudes have a lot of awesome stuff. Rainbow Trends YouTube page is doing well. If you want, show us some support. Click the subscribe button. We're really trying to get to 500. And back to Darius. One of the guys you need to pay attention to, Malifestra, one of our OGs of Rainbow Trends. We even have some Malifestra tools. He's been really on fire lately. There's times where people kind of get into their own moment. Definitely go give that dude a follow. This 70 followers is ridiculous. It needs to be way higher than that. But he's been on it as well, and in alignment with paying a lot of attention to the stuff that Darius has been doing. So definitely go follow his feed and watch what he's doing, or watch all the stuff he's posting in the Discord. If you're looking for Darius's actual Twitter, That's his Twitter as well. This dude is killing it, and he's growing on me. This is someone like Malifestro has been talking about for years. I kind of offhand paid attention to him, but I've been paying a lot more attention to him now, and his stuff's really cool, and he seems to be a really likable guy. And if you're looking for the dude behind the Ford guidance, our friends at Blockworks, definitely check out Fiju. He's been posting a lot of really, really good stuff in relationship to the tariffs this week. If you haven't been paying attention, there's been a lot of tariffs in the worldwide news. So that's been quite a bit of fun. But definitely give him some looks, and he's the guy who did the Darius interview, so definitely show them some love. But before we talk about anything market-wise, even though we've covered some of it already, and we've done a bunch of intro, thanks again for being here. These things do a lot of work, but we've been getting a lot of love and support, so it's rewarding to do these, and I look forward. I used to hate streaming way back in the day, but there was no way to do like Rainbow Theory tutorials, teach people without actually showing it live, and it's kind of evolved into this. So through thick and thin, we've been running through it. So again, thanks for all the love. And let's get to some seriousness. Dire wolves apparently are a thing now.
The howl of a dire wolf hasn't been heard on planet Earth for more than 10,000 years. That's because the species is extinct. Or
This is
was.
sick. This is crazy.
Colossal bioscience.
So apparently dire wolves are back. They sequenced genomes out of some old dire wolf teeth and skulls, which is really, really interesting. The Joe Rogan podcast covered it, and they ended up making these monstrous freaking dire wolves. And I assure you, no expense was spared. So Jurassic Park's kind of a thing now, and it was super, super big deal. And then I kind of started reading into it, and I got a little disappointed because it's apparently just a gray wolf with like 21 chromosome or genomes that have been altered to make it look like a dire wolf. So it's kind of like a hybrid, not like a real dire wolf, but it's cool that they can actually do it. But the memes and everything else has been crazy, and it's just kind of crazy that they've been able to use like the CRISPR stuff to actually do it. How does this relate to trading? It doesn't. There's just a dire wolf, and I want to kind of remind you, these things have been extinct for 10,000 years, and humans decided to bring them back in 2025. And yes, we got dire wolves back before Altoid sours. So if you're depending on your age group, if you've had these or not, these things were insane. They were insanely popular. I don't know why Altoids got rid of these, but they're gone. And I hope one day they come back, but we may actually get the thylacine and the woolly mammoth back before we get these. So I'm going to go cry in a corner because those are gone. I can vividly remember having those back in like high school. Another big thing I've been playing with, and this has nothing to do with trading. We'll get into trading a little bit, but remember, this is a vibes thing. This is an art stream. Big thing. ChatGPT's 4.0 update has been a lot of fun, and we've been messing around in the Discord as we've been kind of waiting for these trades to play out with all this chop. And one thing that happened this week was started going through the market dips, and we started making McDonald's Ghibli versions of our profile pictures, and then Esk decided to make his own with the Walmart hat. And I said, hey, or not the Walmart, McDonald's. I was like, hey, can you see if it can actually put us in the McDonald's store? And check this out. So I had Esk doing fries. I was doing drive-through. And I was like, hey, add Malifestro and see if at the front desk and see how that works. Boom. Maybe we're bullish on AI tokens again is all I can say. This is awesome. We're not really sure what happened here. That was not prompted, and it's only like a part of an arc, but man, the rest of it kind of nailed it. Maybe move him to the front, but just having fun. And anyway, so where are we at? We got to talk markets, right? That's what you guys want to talk about. We went through months and months and months and months of crab. We traded that. Now you're actually getting liquidity and volatility, liquidity tests, range sweeps, all that types of stuff. And the market has been acting accordingly. So to start us off, I love Delta, by the way. Red candles coming out. 90-day tariffs but this is before the 90-day tariffs, but basically we tariff the whole world, and that's where we're at. Market did not like all that. Frankly, we'll get into this in a bit, but like, it's kind of a weird one. We were warned it was coming. We were told the date he was doing it, everything. And the entire world was apparently risk on going into April 2nd. And everything else we've been seeing is from there, and it's absolutely crazy. What has played out this week in very unprecedented ways. But if you're down and out and you're struggling with the emotions, I just wanted to reassure you that we're here, and this is all because we bought random numbers generated by a graphics card. And it's been a fun one. But don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Even the insiders are getting screwed up really, really bad with their trades. And I have to point this out because there are insiders inside the White House cabinet that are making trades that are killer. And I'll cover that towards the end of the stream. But Eric Trump's team has the insider info. And I think ETH is down 50%. 55% since he posted this. This was February 3rd, and it's a great time to buy ETH. Thank me later. This is crazy. This is the old ETH chart, and we had the pump on the tariff news. And I'm sorry, I usually start with Bitcoin, but I had to point this out. Eric Trump sold here right before the candle pop. Why? I have no idea. But right before a 14% pop that he likely knew was coming, World Liberty Foundation started selling ETH. So we'll see how that goes and see how that plays out. Maybe this is going to continue to be the most hated asset of all time that I'm unfortunately bullish on. But man, is it really testing my patience. And shout out Top Signal for that runner bot. What's up, Phil? Fletch on YouTube. Bullish on the golden arches. Yes. Speaking of that, let's just check McDonald's. I want to take a little tangent here. I wasn't planning on doing this. McDonald's is grinding. McDonald's didn't really react to the market. That's pretty cool. A lot of stuff's been nuking. It's been very interesting. Mag 7 couldn't look worse. But, yeah. If you actually want to see it, they took World Liberty with insider information. Took a $125 million loss on their ETH position. So don't feel too bad on yourself. So we're going to transition over into Bitcoin. And like when I said vibes are a thing, vibes are very important. At the Discord, Rainbow Trends Discord, I always say good vibes is the number one rule. We don't have pissing matches. It's like a family thing. We build each other up. We don't do pissing matches. And we pay attention to everybody's emotions and see how they're feeling and stuff like that. One of the vibes we have, which is a rare one, Carpe Noctem, is bullish on a post by Mr. Bollinger himself. We go check out what is woken up and actually getting Josh to actually start memeing, which I actually love that meme, by the way, or that GIF. Classic Bollinger Bands W bottom setting up on BTC USD still needs confirmation. Reminder, the fraudsters are legion. I will never ask you for anything. Well, if you guys don't know, there's a million John Bollingers trying to get people up for information. For information, I say for scams and stuff like that. Also, reminder, I won't DM you and ask you for anything. I'll DM you, ask you for fun stuff and funny stuff, but nothing related to any type of payments or any type of trading and stuff like that. There's a billion fake runner 144s or rainbow runners in Discord, so be very, very cautious. What we're finding out is a lot of people hop into the Discord and then, like, I guess take down a bunch of people's names that are in the Discord, and then they leave the Discord, make a fake profile, and they start DMing the people. So it becomes a person inside the Discord that I can't ban because they're not in the Discord. So be very, very careful. And when in doubt, ask the group chat. Anyway, Bitcoin charts, why we're here. So the first pro-crypto president was inaugurated at $108,000. Since then, Bitcoin has pulled back 31%, and we're currently at 26%. So we'll see how that plays out, but so far, not good. And the big support order block that we've been focusing on for this entire range, we broke through with well print club. like you wouldn't believe, and we started tagging some type of support, and I got really scared here back on the previous stream because I was like, hey, if we give this up, if we don't look at like reversion bands or like really, really big buying impulses, there's really not any support until we get to this order block, which is like 73,000. And we almost hit it, which is crazy. 74, yeah, we were probably 0.5%, 1% away from it. So it's actually been pretty crazy. People aren't even talking about this anymore, but there was a crypto strategic reserve. Haven't heard anything about that in weeks. We got dire wolves to talk about, but zooming into like lower time frames, I've been watching this chop, trying to figure out what it's doing. We started to form a channel here, and that's why you see it marked here, but I wasn't tweeting about this. I think I had some post in the Discord about it, but in general, I'm trying to get a feel for what's going on. We've been bouncing in and out of this channel, but we had our bottoms here, and then yesterday the tariffs were off. Market pumped, and then it pulled back. We actually saw like a god candle. Not a god candle. I take that back. That's not a god candle, but we saw a really nice 4-hour pump of like 7%, which is really nice. Ideally, I would have liked to have seen it come back up into the 90s, but just not there yet. What's up, Mim on YouTube? Mim and Phil always show up. These dudes are awesome. Be like Phil. Be like Mim. We got to get here. We're not going to go straight through. We got to bounce through it a few times, and then we got to try to work back up into our range, and then this is all chop, and it'll get really interesting. Zooming out where we're at, what we're doing, dudes, until we're either going to touch support here again, or we're going to test this. Like, there's really not too many options. There's like no pivots here. We got a Mali pivot here, but there's really not a lot on the higher time frames, especially because we just zipped through here. We didn't gap it, but we zipped it. Albeit you're not really going to gap on many of these, but anyway, when in doubt, what do? We go look at the Mirror multiple. Mirror multiple, as you guys know, I'm not calling us in the end game until we touch the red 2.0 standard deviation on the Mirror multiple. If you guys don't know what this is, go Google it. It's something I visualized with a custom trading tool, but the actual math and data behind it is old school and done by some really good dudes. I usually look up at the Investor Pete, but go check them out and give them a shout out. Right now, we're getting back into the buy territory, which is I draw as like the green. So anything like below like 0.9 standard deviations of the Mirror multiple, we typically bounce from, and we're getting there, which is shocking because we're like 80,000 is where that freaking bottom-ish area is. In general, you can see the previous bottoms. When we absolutely have capitulations, you get into some really, really crazy moments, and you got to buy the dip, essentially, as rough as it feels. But that's what it's here for. If you guys want to go hit us up in the round table after the stream, we can do that too, and we can talk Mirror multiple all day. It's one of my most favorite things. And we're kind of bouncing from here, and we're going to see where this goes. But we need to get back up there. And for the record, for those people keeping track, I consider the red the touch that starts the final months, days, years, whatever of the bull market. That currently right now is at $174,000, which is way up there, which is really interesting because let's look at it as worst case scenario, right? Let's say it is over. Let's not, but let's say it is, right? I don't want to say it, but typically when we have bear markets and these Mirror multiples move, but typically the bottom two bands here, that's really, we'll just say the bottom three. That's really like the worst of the worst. So if we went down here, these would probably go like that, right? We're talking like a low of like 40 to 50, which I don't want to talk about, but realistically, if we want to use Mirror multiple for top projections, what if we're wrong and we want to look for bottom projections? That's where we're really at. But if you look at the previous hit where we almost went into the red bull, full-on bull market, we came and dipped a few times, and we actually almost hit the 0.8 standard deviation. And right now, we almost hit it again. So maybe we'll come down and hit it. That's still only like 72, which sucks, but in general, that's where that's at. So that's the Mirror multiple read. Love it or hate it. I love Mirror multiple because when all the other indicators fail and you don't know where your roadmap is, fire up Bitcoin chart, put it on the daily, and go look at Mayor Multiple. Another thing, since we're looking at health issues with the market, what's up, RJ? I did a quick peek at mining hash rates just to see, are they starting to nosedive for any odd chance? Like, is it tariff spooking miners? Didn't see anything. So that's a good check. Maybe it's starting to pull back. This data is a little laggy. It takes a while because it's calculated like once a day and it's super, super choppy. But in general, we want to see this to continue to keep growing. That's bullish for Bitcoin. As you can tell with Bitcoin ETF flows, this is something I like to check from time to time. I don't think it's as important as it used to be, but I'm definitely paying attention to it. We're definitely having outflows, so we're seeing that the people aren't really hodling with the ETFs like we thought. Maybe they are. Maybe the ETFs are just super, super big now, but in general, people are dumping it in line with the markets. They're kind of running towards gold, not silver, but the one thing is like gold's kind of, I believe, don't quote me, exempted from the tariffs. So a lot of people have been knocking through that. So health check on the ETFs, health check on Bitcoin on the Mayor Multiple. Let's check out the stock to flow model. Nanual from Twitch is saying, don't you think really ETF behaves like retail? I don't know. I think there's about a day or two time delay in it, so it's hard to say, in my opinion. I definitely like seeing steady flows, but it seems like it's pushed out a lot. So, anyway. Mayor Multiples, if you go, not Mayor Multiple, stock to flow model. I love stock to flow model. It's the perfect thing to colorize for your Bitcoin cycles. Everybody focuses about that damn orange line, and they're saying, oh, it says $368,000. We're not there yet. Must be wrong. Forget the line. Just look at the colors. It tends to peak in the orange and yellows. It tends to do that pretty much every friggin' cycle. And right now, we're starting to get into the yellows. We're like probably like here. So we have to be really, really careful. We're getting into the end times. There's no way around it. And we have to be cognizant of that because we don't want to diamond hand this thing all the way to the bottom. But it is what it is. So we'll see. Wow, we got a lot of people calling in from Twitter today. Or X, however you want to call it. That's awesome. If you guys want to do a like, comment, or retweet, be majorly appreciated. So we're going to take a little break. And I have a review. Forget everything you've heard about the Minecraft ratings. IMDb gave this thing a 6. And because of that, I went and saw this for the weekend because my kids love Minecraft, what kids don't. And I went into this thinking, I'm not going to like it. This is not going to be good. I wasn't very excited and I was kind of bored. I was like, whatever, I'm going to go get a really good cheeseburger, just hang out with the kids. The kids laugh. It'll be fun. And here's some backstory for me. I grew up on stand-up comedy, South Park, Simpsons, all this type of stuff, Family Guy. I normally will not laugh out loud. Like, from like TV and stuff. Friends and family, sure. TV stuff, movies, I normally don't laugh. I laughed my ass off on this movie. It was fan-friggin-tastic. There's an actual joke with, what's the lady from Stifler's mom? I can't remember her name. I actually screamed out loud laughing because I thought it was so damn funny. But anyway, go check it out. It's hilarious. It's awesome. Highly recommend it. And just forget the ratings. It's crazy. Albeit the kids are a little wild in the movie, but I was laughing my butt off. My kids were laughing their butts off. It was fantastic. Anyway, moving on. Since we're talking video games, Tariffs hit. Jennifer Coolidge, Fletch. That's right, Jennifer Coolidge. She has a great joke in that thing. I think it's in the after credits or the very ending. But anyway, by the way, there's after credits, so definitely watch after that. So Nintendo was in the middle of launching the Switch 2 when the tariffs hit. And pre-order of the Nintendo Switch 2 will not start in order to assess the impacts of tariffs and the evolving market conditions. We've been waiting for the Switch 2 forever. They launched it. It looked awesome, minus the pricing of the games, which is $80 now. It's crazy. So pre-orders are out the door. We don't know how much this thing's going to cost anymore. I'm very, very upset, and I'm sad for Nintendo because that's a crazy... you build up a launch for years. You actually launch it, and then tariffs hit. And you're like, well, this thing may cost $800 now. Who knows? So anyway, moving on. What's up, Pantalaga? I didn't know Stalker had a movie coming. Moving on. Let's check out Nintendo stock. I don't ever trade this thing or look at it, but figured, hey, let's see what tariffs are doing. Not good. We have to assess. Nintendo took a 7% drop, so that's great. So moving into the Switch 2 release, now pullback, we'll say it's distribution, whatever. But anyway, since we're talking Asia, right? Pepe Cinco, dude. 770 AUD for a Switch 2 pre-order? Fuck. That's nuts. What's up, Ice Stutters? Alright, sorry. The chat is blowing up. So the one thing I have to tell you guys, I actually saw something this week that I'm very, very excited because I've never seen one before. And you guys might not know it exists. And I want to share this with you. In the mid-90s, Mitsubishi wanted to go racing Dakar. And Dakar racing for their class requires the homologation rules. You guys ask runner, what the hell does that mean? It basically means you can't go run prototypes and go race one-off cars. You have to race something that the public has to be able to buy. So for I think 97 through 99, Mitsubishi released the Pajero Evolution. This has a turbocharged engine in it with like 280 horsepower, quote unquote. It's probably much higher. Stick shift manual, Recaro seats, and they went and raced this thing in Dakar. And it's the most winningest car in Dakar, SUV in Dakar's racing history. This thing came out in the 90s and would stomp a friggin' Ford Bronco Raptor right now. I saw one of these. Apparently, the import time frame into the United States has passed, and people are bringing these things in as right-hand drive cars. And you can get these for like $30,000, which is a lot for a 1990s SUV, but this is like the baddest thing on earth. Essentially, it's a two-door SUV, 100% up for Dakar racing with a Mitsubishi Evolution turbocharged motor in it. So, the more you learn, the more you know. These things are available, and people are importing them in the United States, and they are badass. And the one I saw had the full-on racing flair on it. Look at this from the 90s. Stick shift, turbocharged. It has these wings and stuff. The one I saw had like the racing livery or livery, whatever they call it. It was cool. So I definitely want one of these. Sorry, Recaro? Yeah, Recaro. They're so cool. I want one. Anyway, moving on. Let's check out Mitsubishi charts. I don't like Mitsubishi really anymore. Ever since they got rid of the 3000 GT VR4, I've not been so bullish. And also, I guess when they got rid of the Evolution, I wasn't so happy when they killed the Evo. Mitsubishi's kind of going down. You know, I'm a Toyota guy. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's move on. So, since we're talking Japanese cars, we're talking car manufacturing in general. If you guys didn't know, you need to see this. They had Elon Musk on Kill Tony.
Tonight's guests, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. Oh my God.
So cool. So cool. Comedy's back, you know? They tried to make it illegal. So uncool. I'm like really uncomfortable in my own skin, so like I move around a lot. I apologize. I want to crawl out of it like a snake. My best friend Joe Rogan. He thinks I'm so funny though. Really. You watch the show. By the way, I have like maybe 20 minutes of a personality, then I'm gonna hit like a serious K-hole. So let's get right to it. Right? Best friends.
So definitely go check out that episode. I don't know what comedian they have set up as the Elon impersonator, but it's fantastic. But let's check out Tesla, because we have been watching the Tesla. I've been long since we've been printing these whites into it. Not that this is a trading stream. But we got an H4 bottom print. We got a Mali pivot. We had RSI rotations. We had ridiculous. In the previous pumps we've covered in the last streams where this was setting up before the tariff hits, this thing pumped, I think it was 50-something%. So I've been loading up on this on the white candles, watching this rotate, watching it push into these reversion bands. Rainbow Theory is telling you the candles are rotating, the RSI is rotating, the runner bot's telling you bottom, and it's the drawdown as well. We're talking 56% pullback. In the past, Tesla tends to pump after that. We had some bumps, we came down, we did a sweep of the pivot here, and now we're trying to make sense of the tariffs. Right now, you guys have to be cognizant. Like, all these charts are off the maps. Forward guidance has been canceled. People are not willing to risk the wild card that is the White House right now. Maybe it's 5D underwater chest with multiple dimensions we can't even comprehend. Maybe it's Jenga. We don't really know yet, but we'll see how it goes. But it's looking like it's bottoming. We'll see. And also, Elon's like in the White House circle, so you could think he's got an advantage, but we are currently targeting from that bottom Mali pivot an 85% return. So we'll see. Pantaga, we need to play with... Pantaga is asking if we can go play Rocket League soon. Yes, we can. RMF is apparently really, really good at it as well, so we need to go hang out with him. Albeit his time zone is completely opposite. But this is transitioning us from crypto into TRADFI markets. And I'll say this. People have been asking me for like information on my thoughts on alts, coins, and all this other stuff. I do not care about altcoins right now. The only thing I care about is Bitcoin and Ethereum and the S&P. Because I don't care what bullish divergence, what Wyckoff setup you have on Peanut, on ZRX, Sand, Axie. I just don't care, because the instant Trump says something, these markets go off the wall. These are the most stable liquid markets in the world, and they're acting like altcoins. So keep that in mind. All right, moving on to TRADFI. Let me start you off with this, because we have a lot to talk about. If you guys can, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500 followers on YouTube. It is a hell of a grind. But before we transition to this, because this is a big dynamic, and you can be a Biden supporter, you can be a Trump supporter, Kamala, I don't care. It's all about the markets right now. And this dude is in charge right now, and he's moving the markets. So we have to be cognizant of what they're doing, what their plans are, what their cabinets are doing. We're also like, we wanted to see like what happened with Trump in after like the first 3 months, the first 90 days. We made it 77 days, and then the markets nuked off of the tariffs. So we still have to pay attention, because this stuff matters. And I don't really get political a lot. But this cabinet is changing markets, so we have to talk about it, right? So there are multiple people inside the White House cabinet that are basically the parrots sitting on both shoulders of Trump, giving him information. And I want to go walk you guys through this. This is it. So let me walk you through this, because this is interesting. And the Real Fly says, in a normal world, these statements would be illegal. So this is Navarro on Fox News.
It's finding a bottom now. But here's the thing. It's going to shift over, and it's going to be companies in the S&P 500 who are the first to produce here. Those are the ones going to lead the recovery. And it's going to happen. Dow 50,000, I guarantee that. And I guarantee no recession, okay? Why? Because when we pass the biggest, broadest tax cut in history within a matter of months, that's going to be a great stimulus. There's not going to be any inflation. We've already had it's finding a bottom now.
So, dude's guaranteeing no recession. Not good. Tariffs hit. And what happened? S&P 500 pulled back 21% violently. When I say violently, this was the fastest and biggest 3-day drawdown in the entire history of the stock market. So, be careful, because we're playing with fire. So, the one thing, so let's spend a lot of time on this. Hey, runner, where's it going to bottom? You never know. And with the S&P, you are not going to knife catch the bottom. You can tell when to risk off. My entire retirement boring TRADFI fund was sitting cash and I got some exposure, and I'll explain how I kind of worked through this because people kept calling levels. This stuff's not about levels. This stuff is about macro pull downs. And we want to talk about like whale theory and stuff like this. Whales have limits. Whales have colors. Black Monday hit, wasn't so bad. It sucked. It was really, really fast. And it's not over yet. But when you're in doubt and you don't know what's going on, you've got to really start like zooming out and looking at your tools. It's really hard to predict this stuff, but you've got to look at math. And when you sit there and go, let's look at the reversion bands. Let's look at our colors. Let's just keep it really simple. Everything else is off. I don't care about volume. I don't care about anything else. Let's historically look at this. Minor pullback here, 10%. This was the previous real big peak we had before the drawdown in 2021, and it did 27%. All right. So we're looking at these, and what we're trying to see is what's the worst thing that could happen, assuming we don't break records and do something that's never been done before, right? I need to know how far can whales in a capitulation event drive the S&P down, because that's going to be my barometer for the rest of the markets. When I feel like this thing is bottomed out, that's when I think I'm going to start getting long on just about everything risk on, right? So right now, and this is, I was looking at this before like this stuff kind of played out, and I kind of was talking about it in the Discord, like, hey, I'm just going to martingale this down. If you guys don't know what a martingale is, it's where I take like 10 bids and I just set up my limit orders. It's a lot of stuff that I do with like bot trading and stuff. It's just, or in manual trading too, I'll draw it out. And it's just like, hey, as the bids keep going down, I keep exposing more of my pot and my DCA drops with it, and eventually we V-bounce out. If you're betting that the S&P 500 goes to zero, good luck. That's just not really something you should ever bet on because it's never happened before, right? So we've tried to kill it a bunch of times and it never has. What's up, Nexus? Nexus has been posting a lot of good charts too, albeit not so. He's been using default candles lately. Breaks my heart. But right now, 21%. This one, 27%. COVID was 36%. And the one thing I really want to really show you guys, COVID did not bottom in a day. COVID bottomed for like a week, right? So when you think of COVID, you think of a V bottom in your head, and you think it happened in a day. It didn't. It happened over a week, and then it slowly ground and rose its way up. Right now, we've dropped faster than COVID. And the faster things happen, the less sustained a whale can sustain the run. So if we were to get a COVID crash of the S&P 500, we're looking for a 36% drop, which puts us at just below 4,000. We ended up getting to like 4,800. So if we were going to do a COVID-style V-bottom, that's what we're looking at. And that didn't happen. Maybe it still can. We don't know yet. Like, right? Like maybe we tariff China 9,000 points tomorrow and they invade Taiwan and all this goes crazy. I'm totally expecting my Twitch channel to get banned again for the word I'm using. So let's be careful with the words. COVID bad, Russia bad, Putin bad. We'll see if we can keep it. So moving back in history, let's go look at the great financial crisis of 2008, right? 58%. 58 was a lot, but it didn't happen over 3 days. This thing drove down, popped, drove down again. Right now, we're sitting like here. So if we do have a prolonged drop, that's what it would look like. And that would be 56%. Okay, the 2008 financial crisis. Some of you weren't trading at that time, that's fine. A 56% drop. Holy crap. You're talking below 3,000. We're talking about S&P 500 going to 3,000 points. which you would have to have a ridiculously wide martingale to hit that all the way down. And maybe that's the play. We don't know yet. We're not recovered yet. Tariffs are paused for 90 days. We don't know what could happen in 90 days. Crazier stuff could happen. Taiwan could pop off. You just don't know, right? Maybe we could find out Prince is alive. Just crazier things could happen. 50% there. So this was the .com bubble burst. And then that's the 2008 financial crisis. 50%, 56, right? And if we want to go all the way back to the 1900s, whatever, you can go look at that. But basically, these are pretty much some of the worst ones ever. It's like 56%. We don't really want to talk about 80% draws, but pretty much I'm saying like, hey, my white candle levels, right? If you want to have an equivalent for that for like a drawdown, we're talking like 50, 56, and like 35. So really, like, worst comes to worst, we're talking about 30 to like 56. We'll just call it 50. So we're talking about this window. That's my all hell breaks loose barometer for the charts. If I don't know where we're going, and I definitely don't, I know we're going to the right, and I have no idea what's going to happen next with tariffs or the markets or the yield rates, I feel comfortable that's our window to if the worst of the worst happens, I think that's where we bottom out. So it's just how I look at things. And I got some exposure this week. Got a little over 6 figures in on the S&P this week, and I'm still got room to powder in if I need to. So long story short, that's where we're at. And you need to be cognizant that when you're in uncertain territories, you can't go all in, you can't go all out, but you need to know where your walls are. Because essentially, if I'm betting that the S&P is going to go past a 50% drawdown, I don't really need to be like in the market. I need to be like building a bunker and like stacking gold bars, which is maybe the right call right now, but I don't know. But anyway, that's the S&P. It's been shitting a brick, needless to say. And it's been bothering a lot of other people because for whatever reason, I cannot fathom this, because if I manage any person's money, like a fund or anything, I would be completely risk off for the first 3 to 4 months, maybe 5 months of the presidency, let alone I would not be risk on going into the April 2nd tariff announcement, which the plan was not laid out until like the day of, right? Keep that in mind. And apparently everyone was balls deep leverage to the tits, and we were watching people, big investors, like panicking. We actually saw Bill Ackman go completely nuts on Twitter, calling out the entire White House cabinet. And all of a sudden, he's pivoting today or yesterday because of they canceled the tariffs for 90 days and say this was brilliantly executed by the real Donald Trump. Textbook are the deal. So if you guys actually go watch this, dude, he was tagging people, calling them out. He was having an absolute meltdown, which means his fund was long and getting destroyed and trapped in a trade. And it was actually fantastic to watch it live. It was actually kind of crazy. So go definitely check out Bill Ackman's post. It was really, really telling, because you were literally watching a fund manager like scream that they're about to blow up. So it was kind of fun, but definitely go check that out. We also had kind of a pivotal moment. So Trump's been wanting tariffs for a very, very, very long time. Very long time. And it finally happened. The reciprocal tariff stuff on some weird math. The cabinets allegedly had been working for months on a proper way to do like reciprocal tariffs and all that. And then last minute he decided to change the equation, how they did it. It was kind of crazy because you saw like 100% tariff, 90% tariffs on like Madagascar. Like Madagascar is not squeezing the United States. Like, I'm just going to be real with you. So market started going into that 2 to 3 days of the biggest fastest downturn of all time. We saw yields and other health indicators of the market start to flinch, start to struggle, start to show telltale signs that, oh, this is looking like it's bowing up to be the next 50% drawdown of worldwide markets in history. And Bessent apparently flew down to Florida and had a talk with Trump. So Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent flew to Florida Sunday to encourage President Donald Trump to focus his message on negotiating favorable trade deals or risk the stock market cratering further. According to two people familiar with the conversations, granted a nominee to share details of them. Bessent, who landed with the president at the White House on Marine One Sunday night, told Trump that markets would remain in peril unless he started putting more emphasis on talking about his endgame with tariffs, winning deals with other countries. Prior to this event, Netanyahu, how do you say his name, from Israel, I can't say it right, he flew down and said, we'll do everything you want. Free trade, we'll work on the actual trade deficit, however you want to call it, Trump. We'll do everything you want, blah, blah, blah. Later that night, Trump was asked about it. He still was saying, like, I don't know, we'll see if we help out Israel and give them, a break on these tariffs. And it's like, you literally got a plate fed to you, every single thing you want, plus more. And you're still talking, I don't know, maybe I'm still going to tariff Israel, blah, blah, blah. Not a good deal because the whole market is in shambles and they're wanting to see, is he going to take the exit? Stage left, take your exit, bow, get your win, move forward, right? Open up the world to trade agreements. And that's what Bessent came in for. Bessent came in and says, dude, you got to quit talking to Navarro. You can't just think you're not going to crash the markets. You are obviously going to start crashing these markets. You need to say, hey, I got the tariff plan. These are what I want. And hey, these things are looking forward, because a ton of countries came to the table offering everything. It's like, hey, take it. Tell the world you're taking deals. You're gonna be easy on them, and we can make progress. The last thing the market wants is unpredictability and without trust. Because if the whales do not trust what the market makers are going to do in the White House, or like in the worldwide scenario, they're risking off. They're buying gold. They're buying Bitcoin. They want to hedge because they don't like this, right? So Bessent flew down on Sunday and talked to him. If you notice something, who's standing behind Trump now? It's not Navarro, it's Bessent. So it actually looks like the Secretary of Treasury, Scott, got control within the cabinet again. And this is when we got the 90-day pause on the markets. We actually started seeing yields go nuts. And if you know what that means, it means people are dumping bonds and flying into safety. And it got really, really interesting. To the point, this is another kind of play here. Jamie Dimon goes on Fox News. So let me back this up. Jamie Dimon, you guys should know who he is. He doesn't talk to Trump. Hasn't talked to Trump for years. The one thing this whale knows, and he's one of the biggest whales in the friggin' world, he knows Trump watches Fox News every morning. What he did was his plea to Trump, because he's not going to get Trump on the phone. He probably could if he wanted to, but they don't talk. He goes on Fox News to lay it out. And watch this. Because he knew the White House was going to watch this and pay attention to it.
And then, of course, when they put the tariffs in, it was way beyond what people expected. That will cause a little inflation, slow down growth. But I hope what they really do is let Scott Bessent, who I think is a professional, negotiate. I know Japan's here, I gather Korea, Vietnam have called, and then eventually Europe. Get those things done quickly. If you want to calm down the markets, show progress in those things, and let Scott take the time. Trade deals are very large and very complex.
So later that day, that's exactly what happened. So big move by Jamie Dimon here. He's not the first person to bait something onto Fox News knowing that Trump will see it. He's basically saying, dude, you want a recession? You'll get it if you don't calm this stuff down and let Bessent start working on your plan. Because there's no point doing down the tariffs if you're not going to take the wins. You set the game plan. You have people lining up to give you what you want. Go take the win. Don't just take an L for no reason. And sure enough, that's what we saw. Trump comes in. He listens to his advisors and takes the advice from Bessent, takes that little hint from Dimon, and he reverses the markets and he says, 90-day pause on all tariffs. All countries who are willing to work with us, you've got 90 days to negotiate a term. And at that 90-day mark, even if you don't come up to a term or whatever, they're going to hit you with the 10%. Not the 90s, not the 50s, not the 60s. They're going to hit you with the 10. Maybe you can negotiate to 0. We'll see. But he then cranked it up on China. So now the game is flipped, and people are calling this the 5D chess move. And it's in my opinion, it's not. I think what happened here, he's been talking about tariffs forever. And he told you April 2nd was coming, and he did it. And then everybody kind of got weird with the numbers because the numbers were like 5 times higher than what people were expecting, and the math didn't make sense. Applying tariffs to uninhabited islands, which is penguins, was a thing. I really don't want to get into that because it's absolutely crazy, and I don't think penguins are going to be able to negotiate their way out of this, but they are. It's affecting everything. So the one thing I will commend him for is he was able to pivot. I don't think this was the original plan, but what he was able to do was not to be stubborn and burn the entire world into the ground to get the tariff stuff that he wanted. He listened to the people, the right people. He pivoted, and now the market's trying to recover. And we got a hell of a bounce. We had one of the worst days in the NASDAQ. We had one of the best days in the NASDAQ this week. It's all over the place. The biggest, most liquid markets in the world are performing low time frame BARTs. So we'll see. But the instant this happened, April 9th, 2025, 1:18 p.m., which I believe was Eastern Standard Time because that's a Florida boy, we got a God candle on just about everything. Shout out Hot Pins, who is our Lord of the Rings freak. And markets absolutely pumped. And what would you know? Minutes before the announcement, people knew that the tariff pause was coming. And you can see, before the Trump posted the buys and everything else, people started making calls. A lot of calls on the S&P, the QQQ, etc., NASDAQ, all that. Right before the announcements. Weird. Because you saw Eric Trump and them sell their Ethereum right before all this as well. They made the wrong move. But low time frame. Tariffs are off on the 90-day. We're looking at the QQQ here. Boom, 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 boom. We saw 10% pop in minutes. Minutes. And what was weird is people, where's my draw? Basically bought their calls and stuff right here. Which means insider information is leaking. There's no other way around it. And that's what some of the Democrats are posting now is like, hey, the insiders are making money. We're going to go investigate you. We'll see how that goes, considering Pelosi's insider as well. But it's really interesting. The markets loved that information. The markets overheated and popped a little too hard. We saw VIX act like a damn roller coaster, which is not normal. And VIX is getting into crazy, crazy levels, like over 50. Multiple candles over 50, but it's... This is not a good sign. And we watched gold turn into the next meme coin. Gold, which has been like one of the not coolest assets ever, year to date, is up 24%. Gold, physical gold. So people are fleeing. People are dumping bonds, trying to get into gold. They're not sure where stuff's going to go. All the stuff's turning into a trade war. It's getting crazy. Things are getting spicy, right? You guys didn't want the crab markets. Here comes kangaroo. So, if it wasn't bad enough, Trump actually posted and told you to buy before all this shit went down. So, if you wanted to be part of the inside group, follow get in with his Telegram group, right? They're putting the buy signals and saying, "Hey, this stuff is coming. It's crazy," right? That's what happened, and it's absolutely insane. He's telling you right before all this stuff happens. I don't know if that's ever happened in recorded history with any president, but regardless, we saw other ripple effects from these tariffs. It's been really, really interesting, and I had to share you guys this one. I love this tweet. Suddenly, not having a case on my iPhone has become a potentially life-altering financial decision. The big thing that people keep focusing on is iPhones in regards to these China tariffs. If you don't know, the iPhones that are designed for 8-year-olds are also built by 8-year-olds in China. So tariffs were looking absolutely crazy. And Apple thought all this was actually going to go into play, and it very well may. All the tariffs are kind of screwed off in the other countries, but China's still ramped up, so Apple's in a bit of a bind. Only a little bit of their manufacturing is in India. And I forgot what the numbers were. I think someone said to move 10% of iPhone production in the United States, it would cost $20 billion in like 3 years of time to do it. If you guys don't know like how manufacturing works, this is really going back to my old engineering days. The easiest thing in the world is to build a prototype. The hardest thing to do in the world is make 10,000 of them efficiently. Big advanced manufacturing facilities to make a high quality project with low rejection rates, low duds, i.e., is super, super hard. Very hard. And you can't just make an iPhone plant here in the United States. It's just not a thing. Chip manufacturing is a big thing too. You can't just make chips wherever you want. Like, you want to go all of a sudden start up Apple battery manufacturing plant in Argentina. It's going to take years and it's going to take a ton of money. You have to be really cognizant of that. And a lot of people think, oh, we'll just make iPhones in the United States. You totally can. Totally can. But it's going to take years to manufacture. You saw how long they had Cybertruck prototypes. You saw how long they had Cyber Roadster prototypes, which they still haven't delivered. Making a prototype super, super easy. Manufacturing them reliably and at a good price is really, really hard. So keep that in mind. We aren't just going to start making iPhones here overnight. It's going to be super, super hard. What's up, Manifestro, on YouTube today? So off of this, Apple actually started filling 747s full of freaking iPhones and started flying them into the United States, which is just a fantastic response from Apple, and something envisioning just taking planes out of China and throwing phones into them and flying them into the United States because they're worried about the tariffs. I don't know how many iPhones are sold every day in the United States, but it's a pretty interesting thing that they actually got commercial charters to go do all this, and it's absolutely just, welcome to the simulation. Anyway, how's Apple doing? Not good. Not good at all. The Mag 7 in general is not doing well. Apple's actually been doing really, really good up until this administration, and this did not go well. Basically, a bunch of the stocks that rely on China heavily for their production are getting absolutely destroyed right now. And it makes sense. But I'd like to say eventually China is going to come to terms and make a deal. And when that happens, you're looking at a potential bottom like we were playing on Tesla on Apple. Which, if we were to go back up to these pivots, we're talking about 30, 40% moves is where we're at with that. It's not a bad play. Are we going to get there? No. But I can tell you this. If China bends the knee, that's the bottom for Apple. What's Runner's counter argument with that? There's definitely a counter argument to it. And the counter argument is, what if China buckles down and they keep fighting this tariff war? What if China just says, F it, we're going to go take Taiwan. And then we have war pop off with Taiwan, defending Taiwan's island. Like that could happen. Crazier things have happened. See you, Sean. Much love. So it's a very, very risky trade. But if you look straight up Rainbow Theory 101, white candles and reversion bands, rotations, we're seeing buying happen. This is heavily... You wanted to buy Apple on a discount? Here's your discount. Big, big, big buys. But Apple's not going to do well with 182% tariffs or whatever they are right now. I'm joking. It's really like 152, right? Or 154. I don't know. But we're looking for a bounce. But if this China trade war pulls out for years, I'm not bullish on Apple. I'm not. And this is one of those things that can sit there and just keep bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and grinding down. Now, we definitely don't want to lose this support, but man, this is rough. But the thing is you guys have to be cognizant. We aren't going to find hidden bull dibs on this stuff and do some crazy TA and come up with a great thing. This thing is news driven. And what we're going to do is take the Rainbow Theory stuff and look at what the whales can do in worst case scenarios and say, hey, they're really hitting the extremities of what they can regardless of how bad the news is. Now, Taiwan invasion is definitely worse than tariffs. So maybe we could see legs down, but you're looking at if we look at the machine, oh shoot, those are down there. I don't want to talk about going down to below 100, but I don't know. We'll see. Shout out to Twitter, dude. We just broke 300 live viewers. It's not concurrent, but it's total viewers. That's awesome. We got 16 on YouTube and 6 on Twitch. If you guys can, like, comment, subscribe, retweet the post, the live stream if you want. Helps us out a lot. We do this for free. We don't put the paywalls on any of these videos, and we definitely don't put ads on these. YouTube may try to put ads, but I don't monetize any of the videos, so I'm hoping they'll stay ad-free. But anyway, moving on. And Malifestra is online, so if you guys can, we gave a shout out for Malifestra at the beginning of the stream. Definitely shoot him some DMs and shame him until he comes back and does an interview. Moving on, President Trump also has been focusing on the bond market. And today, I don't know if this is true. We'll see. If not, it actually sounds like it could be true. Apparently, Trump has asked if he can fire Jerome Powell. And if you've seen some of the tweets lately from Trump, he's begged and pleaded and poked at Jerome to get him to cut rates. He wants rates cut. He wants the feds to start printing. Jerome has passionately said, I'm going to do my full term. You can't fire me, and I'm not looking at cutting rates yet. I'm also not interested in cutting now that you're doing tariffs because he's worried that tariffs are going to increase inflation. So we'll see, because inflation right now is cooling off, and it's going to take a little while to see what these tariffs do, but he's in no rush to cut. Trump desperately wants him to cut, but the guy who's in charge of it's not wanting to do it. So it puts everything in a really interesting spot. So if you haven't noticed, this is the other news article we need to talk about. Yields have been spiking like crazy. The U.S. 30-year, and this is what really got Bessent flying his ass down to Florida. He's actually saw some of the greatest 30-year yields hit. We actually broke over 5%. What does this mean? This means somebody's dumping bonds, and the U.S. government has to sell enough of these bonds wherever the markets are. I'm not the expert on it. They have to sell these. And shout out Runnerbot. If you can't be any more simple, there's the bottom, there's the top. This is not good. U.S. yields over 5% is a very, very strong indicator to say that markets are not healthy right now. Not healthy at all. And it's very concerning because this is stuff you see right before a 50-60% pullback on the S&P 500. So we're talking, this actually triggered emergency meetings at the Feds to potentially step in and provide liquidity to markets to help support us go through a nosedive. This got Bessent going down to Florida to talk Trump, hey, you got to get your stuff together, start talking about exit plans so that this doesn't keep climbing up. The other theory is, what else could be doing this? China could be retaliating, and I think they've got, I don't know how many billions of dollars of, bonds, but they're dumping bonds. Could be it. The other thing is, the basis trade could be blowing up. So definitely, I don't have enough time to do that. We're already an hour in, but definitely go look up the basis trade. The theory is a lot of people, a lot of hedge funds will risk on into this, and they're blowing up over this yields as well as the S&P 500 going down. With that being said, you have to keep in mind, we went through this with FTX. It takes months, weeks to figure out who blew up, who died. We will not know how many funds blew up until weeks from now. I can guarantee you there are a lot of bodies that need to be counted over this. 100%. And we're not there yet, but we're going to find out who blew up. And this is why we saw Bill Ackman earlier in the stream freaking out. It was a big, big issue. Pepe Cinco wants to know. Pepe, if you want to listen to the song, that's the Atari song, Daft Punk, that I was listening to just now. He's on YouTube as well. You can listen to him on YouTube. But anyway, very, very not cool. And we're actually seeing inflation drop down into single digits, like into the ones. which is really, really scary because the last thing you want is de-inflation. De-inflation can mess you up. And we're getting kind of close there. Now, this is what Jerome wants to see, but Jerome thinks the tariffs may make the inflation rate increase. If that's the case, you may get a rate increase, not a rate cut. God knows what that's going to do to the markets. But anyway, moving on closer towards the end of the stream. Hold on, I think I've got one of these out of order. Yeah, that's one of the older ones. So I'm going to wrap it up with this, guys. Thank you all for coming out. Please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps us out. We actually hit 300 views on Twitter, which is amazing. Love you guys, dudes. But I'm going to leave on a positive note. The markets are in shambles. And I'm going to tell you, Coinbase continues to be my light of hope at the end of the tunnel. And what is Coinbase doing? They're onboarding Waka Flocka Flame onto Base on the Ethereum blockchain. So maybe we're there. Maybe this is the bottom signal we need. But Waka Flocka is working with Coinbase now. I'm a bit split, albeit he's got a song about paint, which kind of can be related to Rainbow Theory. But we'll see. But with that being said, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Go check us out at the Discord. That's where we live. That's where we're going to go after this. I'm going to fire up the roundtable discussion where all the OGs come in and share their charts. I can share my charts. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, come talk to us in there. Everybody's allowed to share what they want. It's a good vibe session. Don't be shy. And if you're looking for us on the Discord, on the Rainbow Trends website, this banner at the top, you click that, and that'll take you right to the Discord link, or you can catch it up in my bio. But when in doubt, check it out. And I'll see you guys in probably 5 minutes on the Discord. I'm going to go grab some water. Thanks again for coming out. We're going to wrap up the streams, and I will talk to you guys next week. Or you guys can come chat us up in the Discord or shoot me a DM. I'll talk to you guys later. Much love. Bye.